Hello, and welcome to the Square Timber Brewing Company. My name is Marc Bru. I'm the founder, president, head brewer, and everything else here at our small brewery located in Pembroke, Ontario, in the heart of the Ottawa Valley. The Square Timber trade was really what founded our area, and we wanted to name our brewery after this generation of people who built this area. I'm a proud member of the Métis Nation of Ontario, and my father, Hubert Bru, is a member of the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan. I grew up in the beer business in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, where my father worked in beer his whole career. I started homebrewing in the mid-2000s and became a professional and commercial brewery owner in 2014, and we recently celebrated our 6th anniversary. Our brewery is located at 800 Waito Station Road, approximately 15 minutes just outside of Pembroke, Ontario. It's on a 15-acre wooded lot on a maple sugar bush. Here at the Square Timber Brewing Company, we brew a variety of styles of beers, both ales and lagers. People come into our tasting room, where we are right now, sample our beers, and purchase them to go. We also offer free home deliveries, and we cover pretty much all of the Ottawa Valley. Welcome to our brewery. This is our brew house. Here's where the beer really is made. We have a hot water tank, a kettle, and a mash tun. So at the beginning of a brew day, we mix our milled grains with the hot water in the mash tun, and that sits for about an hour. And what happens during that process, the hot water turns the starches in the grains to sugars, and sugar is really what's needed to make beer. Once that's done, we move it into the kettle and we bring it up to a boil. At that point, we add our hops, and hops do various things depending on what kind of beer we're making. Hops always add bitterness to balance the sweetness from the sugars. It gives aroma and flavor. After it boils for an hour in the kettle, we pass it through the heat exchanger, and then it goes on to one of the 4 fermenters for the next step in the process. Once we move the wort into the fermenter, that's when we add the yeast. And the yeast converts the sugars into 2 things, CO2 and alcohol. It's pretty traditional for breweries to name the tanks in the brewery. Mine are named after family members. That's my grandpa Reg, my grandma Irma, my best friend Jonathan, and Aunt Mickey. After that process is done, we move it from here into one of our finishing tanks, which we call bright beer tanks. This is the tank where we'll bring it to 0 degrees Celsius, and it'll sit there for 48 hours. Then we add carbon dioxide into the beer to carbonate the beer. That process takes another 48 hours. Once the beer is carbonated, we put it into kegs or cans for your enjoyment. We're going to sample 3 of my favorite beers: Pembroke Pils, 1881 Lager, and Bunny Hug IPA. Let's start with the Pembroke Pils. We named this beer Pembroke Pils because we really wanted to give our city, Pembroke, Ontario, its very own beer. This is a rich, playful, pale Bohemian Pilsner with a bready malt flavor, spicy hop character, and smooth, rounded finish. This is our Bunny Hug IPA. It's a West Coast style IPA with lots of hop flavor, lots of tropical notes, really nice and juicy. I wanted to give a shout out to my home province of Saskatchewan. Here in Ontario, we call these hoodies, but in Saskatchewan, they're called Bunny Hugs. And so we wanted to have fun with this beer, and especially the design of the can, which, as you can see, looks like a bunny hug or a hoodie. This is our 1881 Lager. It's a light North American style lager. It's fresh and easy drinking. We named it 1881 because after much research, we found that the first brewery in Pembroke was started in 1881 by Mr. Carl Henschel. This is a shout out to our history and our brewing past in the Ottawa Valley. It's a nice clear beer, light colored. It really is a year-round beer for year-round thirsts. Thank you for coming and visiting us today here at the Square Timber Brewing Company. We're really proud of our little brewery out here in the woods. We do our best to respect our beers and the ingredients that go in them, but especially the people and the culture of our area, the Ottawa Valley. A wise person told me once, when somebody gives you money for something that you made, respect that. They worked hard for their money, and they deserve everything you can give them. And that's what we try to do here every day at the Square Timber Brewing Company. Thanks again for coming. Merci, miigwech.